Hello everybody, on today's episode of Sewing for Dummies, we shall be learning on how to draft a simple A-line dress. I don't want you to later on, I know sabi do this thing. So first off, on our pattern paper, we get the neckline measurements. For me, I use 3 by 3 inches. And then I trace it out, but you can use any neckline of your choice. I use the curved part of my ruler to trace it out. After that, I went in by my shoulder measurement. It was 7 inches for me. I then came down by 1 inch for my shoulders, and I used my ruler to trace it out to make my neckline. On I see as I do, I'ma be good. From there, I got half of my armhole measurement and marked it out, and I traced it. That will serve as my chest line measurement. Not bust though, the chest. Now we'll go put the bust measurement. For me, it was 10 inches and I marked it out. Mark out my waist measurement as well, which was 16 inches. And finally, that's how I carry myself go the hip measurement too. I marked that one too. Then I begin to start tracing out my lines. If you don't watch reach this point, drop a love emoji, I beg. The length of my gown will be 38 inches. So this pattern paper is enough for it. I am putting my round measurement at this point. Whatever I got, I added 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for allowance. But on my waist, I just minus 1 from the bust measurement. The same measurement I did for my hip is what I will do for the length of my gown. From there, I'll just use my pencil to trace it all out. If you are new to this page, welcome. My name is Sophia and I make simple tutorials from scratch. In fact, sewing tutorials for dummies. You know, get how your head wants a block reach. My teachings must enter.
From the bottom of my pattern, I added 3 inches. And then I slanted it to meet the hip line. That is the A-line effect I'm trying to achieve for the dress. You can even go as far as adding 4 inches. 3 or 4 inches should be enough. Back to my armhole measurement. I measured half of it and marked it out. Went in by half an inch again. And created a new curve with this measurement. This is for the front armhole measurement. It is to give the arm more room for mobility. Because now front would they used to work well. The back will just take the original armhole measurement. And I'll just curve it out to meet the chest line as well. I went back to the bottom of my dress pattern, measure 1 inch upward. And I just blend it into my pattern. I then went back to my neckline, measure 0.025. Then blend it to my neckline. That will serve as an opening for my front neckline. I measured 4 inch downward from my neckline to get the opening. For my back neckline, I measured 1.5 inches and blend it out. Blend it to meet the front neckline I made. And I just use my pen to make the lines visible. Oh yeah, this is not the time to show love. Do like and follow my page so you can be getting more sewing tutorials from me. You can also drop a comment on what you would like to see. Maybe what you would like me to sew. So I go flip it down for mine in preparation for it. But I get my own plenty down for Onasha, so no worries. So at this point, I am only going to cut the back pattern. That is the back neckline and the back armhole. Because if you remember, I did both my front and my back pattern together in the pattern paper. But we'll be cutting the back pattern before cutting the front. Even for the fabric too, now the same thing we could do. So this is it though. This video will be having a part 2 where I show you how to cut the sleeve, transfer it to the fabric and sew it. Bye.